What's happening right now from RTV6, the Indy Channel.
Always keep your hands in visible position.
Now at 5:30, a national story about a deadly shooting provides possible tips for local young men on how to deal with police. The eyes of the nation have focused on Ferguson, Missouri in the wake of the tragic shooting of an unarmed teenager. Here in Indianapolis, Reverend Malachi Walker is paying particular attention because he conducts a camp every summer addressing interaction between youngsters and police. Derek Thomas reports as part of our continuing series, Our Streets, Our Stories.
Young Men Incorporated has been hosting summer camp at this church for the past 20 years. Young men are taught how to behave when approached by police.
You are going to respect them, you're going to honor them, you're going to obey them, and that's what we're going to do.
You could say those are the marching orders for the 80 young men who participate in the camp. They are drilled on that doctrine from day one. James Williams is now 21. He was a camp participant from the age of 9 and a counselor since he was 16.
Being able to get that extra discipline, that extra learning that extra respect, responsibility, and learning that leadership, you know, all that stuff that helps you build a solid foundation.
Neither Williams nor his mentor Malachi Walker know specifically what happened that led to the shooting death of Michael Brown. They now know Officer Darren Wilson is the one who pulled the trigger. Walker just hammers home advice to kids designed to keep them alive.
You don't do anything. You just listen to what the officer says, and you don't respond until he asks you a question or asks you to do something.
Hands up, don't shoot.
There was a peaceful protest in Indianapolis yesterday that questions what happened in Ferguson. That is in sharp contrast to the civil unrest in that Missouri town. IUPUI public safety lecturer and former policeman Jim White says Ferguson police have a lot of work ahead of them.
Having a good relationship with the community is critical. If you have a good relationship with the community, you can talk to the community, you can explain things to the community, and it seems that maybe in this instance there wasn't a good relationship between the community and the law enforcement community.
It will be some time before we know exactly what transpired in Ferguson, but Reverend Walker will continue to spread his gospel on how youngsters should conduct themselves when confronted by police. Derek Thomas, RTV6.
The 9-week-long Young Men Incorporated camp for next year begins on June 2nd and ends on August 9th. The price for the camp is $50.